what are some of these error codes? And so they get tripped by not just lightning strikes, but just any amount of current flowing through the tower, through the nacelle, through the blades. I mean, what trips
Yeah.
those error codes?
So think of it this way: a lot of the instrumentation on a turbine blade, the monitoring systems are there, and they're working at roughly 5 volts, maybe 10 volts, 20 volts, right? So they're actually they're sensing things. Let's just use one simple example. So let's just use the anemometer, which is a wind speed sensor. That thing operates at a relatively low voltage, and a lot of times the wires aren't shielded there. So you're trying to measure wind speed. It's sitting there spinning around and it's measuring data, and that tells you how you're positioning the blades to get the most efficient use of the wind turbine to generate power, right? So using the wind speeds, and you can actually pivot the blades for more efficiency. So what happens is that spark that happens between the blade and the nacelle as it arcs across is getting coupled into the wiring, like the anemometer wiring. And so the computer that's sitting on the backside that's working at a couple of volts sees this 100 or 200 volt spike happen and doesn't know what to do with it. It just barfs at it, and it says, whoa, something is really wrong. I've over limited. That's not possible. In those cases, I have a bad anemometer, so I'm going to stop measuring wind speed. And when I stop measuring wind speed, I probably stop the turbine because I don't know what I'm doing. It's just like also not knowing where the wind direction is. So, some of your worst case situations, the wind turbine's pointing in the wrong direction. Or take that back, even on an anemometer, where if the wind speeds are too high and you're not sensing it, you don't want to be running the wind turbine. You want to stop it, right? So not having a working anemometer a lot of times will just shut down the turbine. And that's where that electrical noise plays into it, because it's working at a couple of volts, and then it sees this big voltage spike or repeated big voltage spike, because every time that blade comes around, or those 3 blades come around, it's got spark, 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 spark. It just overwhelms the signal in which it's trying to measure.